Hey everybody, I'm Adrienne. I am back here with Sam. She is our chief rabble-rouser of the highest order, but she is also, she heads up our member services team, and Sam is here to talk to us about how we put ourselves in our members' shoes. So Sam, can you give us a couple examples of how we do that here?
Of course I can.
Well, thank you.
I do think it's hugely important that everybody here understands how we serve our members. We do consider ourselves a company with a lot of stakeholders, and our members are one of those stakeholders. And I think the only way we can actually serve them well is for our employees to have interactions with them.
A connection with them,
Yeah,
yep,
exactly.
and understand how we're serving them, how we can be serving them even better.
Exactly.
So what are some of those things that we do?
A couple of things we do. I invite anybody in this company to come and listen in to our incoming phone calls at any time. We have over 500 phone calls a day probably come into my department, and I invite anybody to drop in anytime. You're welcome to answer calls, you're welcome to listen in, you're welcome to pair and talk, and that way you don't actually have to know the systems or anything like that. So our co-founders, David and Tom Gardner, come down all the time and listen in, and that's always a magical moment when they're like, this is Tom Gardner, and the person on the other line is like, Tom Gardner? And so
really?
It's a wonderful thing for him to get member feedback directly, and you never know what that phone call is going to be.
Right.
It's also great for the member services rep to listen to the members' interaction. And so that's a lot of fun. Another thing that we do is we make sure we're a company that of investors that serve investors. And so it's important to us that no matter what you do at the Motley Fool, whether you are just out of school, have money, don't have money, are working at the front desk, or are an analyst, we want you to be an investor. We want you to understand what our members do and how they feel and how awesome you feel when the market is up and you're an investor.
Yep.
And how much you want to take that money and hide it in your mattress when the market's down. And
So we
you're
help
an
people
investor.
get in the game.
Exactly.
So how do we do that?
So we give every employee within their first 3 months $1,000 directly into a brokerage account to help them buy at least one stock. So if you already have 50 stocks, buy another one.
It doesn't matter what kind of position you're coming into or whatever, everybody gets that $1,000.
And if it's your very first one, we give you, you have access to all of the Motley Fool information. Pick a stock from Stock Advisor and put that $1,000 in there. I want you to know how a brokerage account works. I want you to know how it feels. I want you to be able to follow that stock and to know how our members interact with us.
Yeah, and get in the conversation too. I know that I can now say that when Whole Foods is up or down, I can have a conversation with our analysts or with other team members to say like, hey, did you see what happened? And I wasn't able to do that prior to this program because I wasn't an investor on my own.
Right.
So,
and even if you think about it theoretically, it's not so much as it doesn't stick as much as this is a position I own and this is my money and I want it to grow, right?
Right, exactly. And something else we've done, we had a member challenge a few years ago, right, where we really encourage everybody to get to know a member, who they are, why they invest, why it's important for them to invest.
And so 20% of everyone's bonus was actually based on them getting to know a member, and it was their job to get to know a member and then introduce that member to the rest of the company.
Share it with us.
And I think that people, it changed the way they do their jobs in a way that they think, instead of the members or our customers, they think, I'm creating this for Jim. And Jim invests like this. Or I remember that this other team had an interaction with this other member, and I'm going to go talk to them, and maybe I can reach out to that member again. Several of those members we've talked to several times.
Yeah, it really, I think it helped the whole video here is about putting ourselves in our members' shoes, and I know that for me that was a very helpful thing, that member challenge, in addition to the $1,000 that we get and listening in on member phone calls. So thank you for all of your work, Sam. Thanks for joining me here. That's another one of our philosophies here at the Motley Fool. Click play on another video.